Hey, this is James Pelton, and my last video from our road trip. We'll be home later tonight, so my next video will be back in my office. With the markets down the way that they are, I thought maybe we could commiserate, and so I wanted to go through my top 10 biggest crypto losses. Okay, we're usually talking about gains and wins and things like that, but I thought maybe it might make people feel better to just see when I've lost. You know, they say misery loves company. And so want to show you kind of some of my miseries as we go back through memory lane. So I have my top 10 losses, and these are based on just realized gains. So, you know, like Bitcoin, my Bitcoin's way down, but I haven't sold it, so I don't really consider that a loss. Same with some of the node projects, like I put in a bunch, but I've kind of made my ROI back, and they're still producing a little bit of something, so I don't necessarily consider those losses. So these are just my top 10 realized losses in crypto. So coming in at number 10 is bnbmatrix.io. And you really could just kind of lump in all the BNB miners all together. I have made money in some of them if you get in early enough and they last for long enough. But most of them have rug pulled, or the contract runs out before you're able to get out your initial. I mean, this should be a warning sign. We've learned that this is a warning sign, you know, 8% to 17%. Daily ROI, but back in the day, I remember November, December, I think is when I got into this and was just really, I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And I think I lost $500, but this was back when I didn't have as much liquid capital sitting around, so it was a pretty big deal. I woke up one morning, this website was down, it was gone, my $500 was gone with it. So that's number 10, $500 in BNB Matrix. And number 9 is KlimaDAO. So again, this is back when I was first getting into crypto, and I thought it was a really cool idea, and the APR was so high that I thought, oh, this is a win. You know, this is definitely a winner. So I went ahead and put in $1,000, and this isn't actually realized because I haven't actually sold it yet, but it's down so far from where I got it that I'm just going to count it as a loss. So that's number 9, is $1,000 lost in KlimaDAO. Coming in at number 8 is the COTPS Arbitrage Bot. And, you know, just looking at the website, I was kind of like, this is probably going to rug pull. But so many people were asking me about it. It is providing 3% return a day, which, again, is too high to be sustainable. And it didn't really make sense to me, like an arbitrage bot that you just click a few buttons and you'd make 3% a day. It was kind of weird. But I put in $2,000. I actually had it compounded up to like $5,000. And then one day the website was just gone. So, and there's talks that, oh, they're just, you know, it's website maintenance or something like that. But I'm counting it up as a loss. So that's number 8, $2,000 lost on COTPS. Number 7 was on Donkey Finance. So basically, Donkey Finance, they just have a bunch of different strategies that other people have made, like yield farming strategies that you can implement. And I put in $3,000, and this was actually in the middle of the bull market too, which is why this one hurts a little bit more than some of the others. But whatever strategy, I don't even remember which one it was. So it's maybe not fair to call the whole Donkey Finance economy as it lost me money, but whatever strategy I picked at the time, my $3,000 quickly went to zero, and so that's number 7, losing $3,000 on a Donkey Finance yield farming strategy. And number 6 is Elexir, bringing joy to building passive income. It did not provide any joy for anyone. So this was one I was actually really big on. I actually had a lot of talks with the team and liked the project. We were in the bull market, so it really should have been successful, but kind of after like a week, they just decided, oh, we can't do it. And they did end up airdropping about half of the funds back, but they just shut down. And I actually put about $8,000 into this. I really liked it. And then they ended up airdropping, I think, half of it, $4,000 back. So this is a $4,000 loss at number 6 with Elexir. And at number 5, I'm sure you've never heard of this one, but it's called Ring Financial. It's kind of considered the patriarch of rug pulls in the DeFi space. And I love the way the word here. Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, it's no longer supported and maintained. Nice. But yeah, this one I put in $5,000, lost $5,000. This was, again, the beginning of rug pulls, so we learned a lot from this, that, hey, you can't just give out unlimited rewards for an unlimited amount of time without it falling apart. So Ring Financial takes the number 5 spot with me losing $5,000. Number 4 is Time Wonderland. So I really believed in Daniela, and I even took out leverage. I know I always say don't do leverage, but it was when he had said, hey, we're going to use the treasury to keep Time's price up. And so he said, if you make your liquidation price below this, then there's no chance you'll get liquidated. And so I thought, hey, well, let's go ahead and do that. That's some good returns. You know, I'm a little bit degen. So I went ahead and did what he said to do, then got liquidated. And all my Time Wonderland got sold. And then he said in the morning, he said, oh, I was asleep. Sorry, I didn't catch that. So that was pretty awesome. Good lessons to learn there. One of the lessons I learned from Time Wonderland is if there's a figurehead who's very confident, don't just put all your apples into that. Like, I never really even knew what Wonderland was doing or anything like that, but I just heard Daniela and I was like, man, he's confident. He's going to make it work. And I was mistaken. So that's number 4, is I lost $10,000 in Time Wonderland. My number 3, and this one takes the award for the most painful of all of them, but Zion Finance. So they've been giving rewards for like 3 or 4 years. They had a mobile app. Rug pulls don't make mobile apps. Okay, mobile apps are not particularly easy to make. And I had been in here for quite a while and had just been getting returns. I talked to the team and they all seemed legit. And then the day after I made a video about Zion Finance, I woke up and the website was gone. So I don't know if my video made them scared that they were getting too much publicity, or I don't know what the deal is. But been around for 4 years. The day after I made a video, I lost $14,000 in Zion Finance. They were gone. So this one definitely holds the place for the most painful in my heart. And actually, I was protected on this one. The Lord protected me because I had another $15,000 that I was depositing. I was trying to find a place to spread out from yield nodes, so I thought, I'll put it in Zion Finance. And the deposit was actually pending when the website disappeared. So I was able to get on and just hit, hey, don't deposit that anymore. So still lost $14,000, but could have lost another $15,000. So, yeah, thanks, Zion. All right, and the number 2... my second biggest loss in crypto was Anchor Protocol. This too was pretty painful because I had it in my list of safe projects. If you remember this spreadsheet, my blueprint for financial freedom, well, I kind of have like the riskier things over here on the right and then the safer things over on the left. And I had Anchor Protocol as my second safest thing to invest in. So it was a bucket way over here for safe. I've replaced it with Freeway now. I made videos about, Anchor, the safest DeFi play and all these things. And then lo and behold, I had a lot. At one point, I had like $150,000 in Anchor. I had taken a bunch of it out, but then it lost peg, and I sold a little bit, and then it started to regain peg, so I kept the rest in there. And by the time I ended up selling, I had lost $35,000 in Anchor. So that was a tough pill to swallow. The first lesson I learned from that is there's no such thing as safe in DeFi. There's nothing that's safe. Anchor was not safe. And I also learned, again, another just public figure who was so confident about what he was doing where I didn't even look into, well, how collateralized is it and everything. I was just like, Duquan seems pretty confident. It's going to be fine. And then I lost $35,000. And then my number 1 biggest loser in the DeFi space is Olympus DAO. So when I first got into crypto, I read their white paper and talked with the team a little bit, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be the future. It even says there, the future decentralized reserve currency, and loved what they were doing. So the first thing I did in crypto was I put $70,000 into Olympus DAO. So I had some money that I wanted to bring into crypto, and I was like, I'm going all in on Olympus. And then I watched the price, and then I was getting these huge rebases, and I was like, man, this is awesome. I'm making thousands of dollars a day, and it was so great. Then all of a sudden, the price absolutely tanked. And again, this is not a realized loss. I'm still holding on to my Olympus DAO, but it's gone from being worth $70,000 to about $1,500 since I put that in almost a year ago. So all in all, I lost about $68,000 in Olympus DAO. So that one was a big learning experience for me. Again, that was the first thing I did in crypto. So I definitely learned from that. Don't just go all in when you're first started. Dip your toe in, make sure you understand what's going on, and then start putting more in. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, misery loves company, and I hope this makes you feel better about some of your losses that you have. I would appreciate if you hit the like button and comment what is your biggest loser. What's your biggest DeFi project that you've lost money in, and how much did you lose in it? I think that'd be interesting for us all to see. And just some final parting lessons that I've learned from these 10 projects that we looked at today. First off, high APRs are not sustainable. Okay, and we know this in the DeFi space now, but during the bull market, we did not understand that. We thought, oh, you can make an APR as high. People would compete for what's the highest APR we can get. And we've just learned that it's not sustainable. You can't do that, especially now that we're in a bear market and don't have new investors coming in. There's just no way to make that sustainable. So I tend to look for 1% a day would be like the absolute maximum probably for what I think, oh, that could be okay. That's what drip is and a lot of those protocols that have been around for a while. I would prefer even less. 0.5% a day is even more sustainable. But anything over that one, you start, some of these miners, you get to 8, 9, 10% a day. There's just no way that those can last. Another really important lesson I've learned is that there's nothing that's risk-free. So, people told me Olympus was not risky. People told me that Anchor was basically risk-free, and lost a lot of money in them. And then there's been things that people say are riskier that I haven't lost money in. So it's just a weird space that we're in. But never consider anything in DeFi a safe bet. So I hope this was helpful for you. Again, I try to not. These were all very painful experiences, so I understand. I can relate with you on the emotional discomfort that comes when you lose money. Again, even that first one where I lost $500, that was my first loss in crypto. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is what it's like to be rug pulled. And then obviously these with more money in them, ones that I've encouraged other people to get into, those are very painful. But I try to just look at all of these as lessons learned. There's no point in just whining about the past and thinking about, oh man, if this hadn't happened, But I just try to learn from them, and I've learned good lessons from each of these projects that I've lost in, and I think these will help me going forward. So hopefully you can skip learning the lesson yourself by losing money, and you can just watch this video, and you can learn from but that would make me feel better, okay? Make me feel like, oh, that was a good $68,000 lost. And it's actually funny, my kids are in here. It's a hotel room. My kids are laughing at me at how much money I've lost in crypto. So thank you, kids. I appreciate the support there. So again, as always, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you watching. Please do hit like. Please subscribe and comment your biggest loser and how much you lost. And we'll talk to you later.